In my last video, a lot of you asked about my UI and what add-ons I use to achieve this look. So today, I'm going to break it all down for you, exactly what add-ons I run, how to set everything up, and I'll share all my profiles so you can import them and get the same style. My UI is built on ElvUI as a core foundation, with several other add-ons layered on top that each play an important role in overall design. This video is also a great way for you to discover some really useful add-ons that can seriously improve your gameplay and UI. Before we jump into the add-ons, I wanted to quickly explain what you're actually seeing in my videos. When I record, you only see the center portion of my screen. This helps create that clean, minimalistic look you see in the video. In reality, my full UI extends further out on the sides. I play on a 49-inch Samsung Odyssey G9 ultra-wide monitor at the resolution of 5120 by 1440. For this video and sharing my profiles, I've downscaled my resolution to 2560 by 1440. This makes the layout much more usable for most of you. If you're playing on a standard 1920 by 1080p monitor, you can still import the profiles, but you'll likely need to adjust the overall UI scale in ElvUI and reposition a few elements. With that out of the way, here are all the add-ons I use. Add-ons highlighted in deep blue are the essential core add-ons that build my UI. The ones in green are completely optional, but they add nice quality of life touches and contribute heavily to the minimal aesthetic. Most of these add-ons have imported profiles, which I've linked below. The ones that don't support profiles are pretty straightforward to set up manually. Because I recorded this at a lower resolution than my native setup, you may need to make small adjustments to unit frame positions after importing. I'll show you how exactly I like them placed. To make this as easy as possible, I'm going to walk you through setting up the entire UI from a fresh character. I've added timestamps in the description so you can jump straight to any specific add-on. Let's start with ElvUI and the WindTools plugin. If this is your first time using ElvUI, you'll need to go through the initial setup wizard. The only two things you'll need to do here is click Setup CVARs and set the UI scale to auto scale. This helps everything line up correctly. If the UI feels too small afterwards, you can increase the scale later, but just know you may need to reposition a few elements in ElvUI and other add-ons. Once you've completed the setup and reloaded your UI, it's time to import my DemUI ElvUI profile. To get to the ElvUI interface, you can hit Escape, go to ElvUI in the menu, or simply type /EC in chat. Navigate to Profiles, then select the Import tab. Go to the WAGO link for the DemUI ElvUI profile. You'll need to import two strings from this page. Copy the main profile string and paste it into the first box. The second string, labeled Aura Filters, is in the description on that same page. This one is optional if you already have your own Aura filters set up. Paste it in the box directly below the first one. Click Import, reload your UI, and it should start looking a lot like mine. A quick note, since I mainly play Deathknight, I left Action Bar 2 and Action Bar 3 enabled in this profile. I use them as my personal cooldown tracker instead of Blizzard's default cooldown bar, which I don't like the look of. If you want to keep my exact layout, you'll need a resource bar that fits nicely between the two action bars. For Deathknights, I'll show you how to set up MiniCompactRunes later in this video. If you prefer to use your own cooldown manager add-on, or the ClassUIEnhanced add-on I included, you can simply disable Action Bar 2 and 3 in ElvUI under the Action Bar section. I've also included later in this video my full cooldown profile for ClassUIEnhanced that works across all classes. Now, let's set up the WindTools plugin. Open the ElvUI option again, scroll down to WindTools on the left, go to Advanced, then the Profile tab. Go to the WindTools GitHub link in the description, click the Raw button to open up a new window, then highlight the script by pressing Ctrl-A. Then press Ctrl-C to copy the entire script. Now paste this into the import box. Before you click Import, make sure you first click the Accept button, then hit Import. After reloading, you should immediately notice a big improvement in how quests and other elements are displayed. I use Blizzard's built-in damage meter for my UI layout, with WindTools handling the reskinning. If you want to enable Blizzard's damage meter, hit Escape, go to Options, select Gameplay Enhancements, and check the box for damage meter. If you're not using Blizzard's damage meter, you will need to disable WindTools reskinning to remove the black panel from appearing in the bottom right of the screen. Open ElvUI. Go to WindTools under Plugins. Then navigate to Combat, select Damage Meter Layout tab, and disable it. If you're experiencing flickering with Blizzard's damage meter after installing Midnight Battletech, here's the fix. Left-click the Midnight Battletech icon on your minimap and toggle the damage meter option on. This should resolve the flickering issue. Next up is Platynator for nameplates. Platynator is a powerful nameplate add-on that's incredibly easy to customize. You can click directly on any elements to change its settings or simply drag widgets to move them around. My profile is optimized for solo content, Mythic Plus, and raiding in mind. It also color codes elite mobs to make group content, questing, and world content feel cleaner and more intuitive. When you load Platynator for the first time, it will prompt you to select which add-on you want to use for nameplates. Choose Platynator and reload your UI. Once that's done, hit Escape, go to Options, then click on the Add-on tabs, select Platynator, and click Open Options. In the General tab, click the Import button. Go to the WAGO link for the dim UI Platynator profile, copy the main profile string and paste it into the import box. Then press Import. A confirmation window will pop up asking if you want to override the current profile or create a new one. Select Make New and name it Dim UI and click OK. And that's it. Your nameplates are now fully set up and should look just like mine. No further adjustments needed for this add-on. Before we set up the ClassUIEnhanced cooldown manager, it's best to import the BlizzHud layout first so everything loads in the correct order. Hit Escape and go to Edit mode. Then click Import Layout. Go to the WAGO link for the dim UI BlizzHud profile, copy the main profile string and paste it into the import box. Name the layout dim UI and click Import. Now we can move on to the ClassUIEnhanced add-on. I've created two different profiles for this add-on, a light version and a full version. The light version is what I use on my Deathknight. It works alongside ElvUI's Action Bar 2 and 3 and the MiniCompactRune as my main resource bar. The full version replaces the center action bars 2 and 3 and the MiniCompactRunes add-on completely. The light version profile only enables the racial, trinkets, consumables, buffs, and buff bar trackers from the ClassUIEnhanced add-on. To import it, open the ClassUIEnhanced options by right-clicking the minimap icon or typing /Q in chat. Go to the Import/Export tab, open my DimUI Light Hub layout on wago.io and copy the string. Paste it in the import box and click Import. Make sure the profile name contains the word light, then confirm the import. Now reload the UI. After reloading, go back into the ClassUIEnhanced options. Click Cooldown Manager Settings in the top right. This will open the cooldown settings, which allows you to see your buff tracker and buff tracker bars. Real quick, in the cooldown settings, click on the buff tab and confirm you have spells under Track Buff and the Track Bar section. If this is empty, the buff tracker and buff tracker bar will not show. After confirming this, if any trackers are in the wrong position, you can easily adjust them. To do this, go to the Tracker tab, select the tracker you want to move, buff tracker bars, etc. You can then use the X and Y offset sliders to fine-tune the position. For Deathknights using my light version profile of ClassUIEnhanced, I highly recommend pairing it with the MiniCompactRune add-ons for your runes and resource tracking. Since this add-on doesn't support profile importing, I'll show you exactly how I have mine configured. You can pause the video and match these settings. The full version profile enables the complete center HUD. cooldowns, buffs, utilities, resource bars, etc. If you use this version, you should disable Action Bar 2 and Action Bar 3 in ElvUI so the center of your screen stays clean. To import, open the ClassUIEnhanced options by right-clicking the minimap icon or typing /Q in chat. Go to the Import/Export tab. Open my DemUI Q full HUD layout on wago.io and copy the string. Paste it into the import box and click Import. Make sure the profile name contains the word full, then confirm the import. Reload your UI. After reloading, go back into the ClassUIEnhanced options. Click Cooldown Manager settings in the top right. This will open the cooldown settings, which allows you to see your buff tracker and buff tracker bars. To see the center HUD, you will need to have a target. In the cooldown settings that opened up after clicking on the Cooldown Manager settings, look under the Spell tab. Make sure you have spells you want to track under the Essential Cooldowns and the Utility Cooldown section. If these are empty, the HUD will not display correctly. Now click on the Buff tab and confirm you have spells under the Track Buff and Track Bar section. If these are empty, the Buff Tracker or the Buff Tracker bar will not show. If the central hub or any of the trackers are out of place in the full version, you'll need to adjust them by selecting yourself or a target so the HUD elements appear. Now in the ClassUIEnhanced options, go to the Tracker tab. To adjust the HUD, you will need to select the cooldown tracker. Then use the X and Y offset sliders to fine-tune the position. For adjusting the buff tracker bars or consumables, click the Cooldown Manager settings in the top right to adjust the positions. Once everything looks good, reload your UI to save the positions. Next is Simple Assisted Combat Icon. This is a simple icon that can be placed anywhere on the screen that will show the current assisted highlight spell without having to look at your action bars all the time. When you first load the icon, you will see the icon appear on your screen. To open the settings, hit Escape, go to Options, click the Addons tab, select Simple Assisted Combat Icon, and go to Profiles. There's no importable profiles, so create a new one. Under the Display section, enable the following options: Show with Target, Show in Combat, Hide while mounted, Hide in Vehicle and Pet Battle. The rest of the settings are personal preferences. I personally only show the icon itself and keep the keybinds hidden. Go ahead and drag it to where you want it to show during combat. Don't worry about the size for now, we'll adjust that next with the Masque add-on. Up next is Masque with the two skins, Darkscail and Squat. Before we open Masque, we first need to enable a few options in ElvUI so the skins apply correctly. Type EC in chat. Now go to Action Bars, select the Masque tab, and enable Action Bars, Pet Bars, and Stance Bar. Now go to the Buff and Debuff section, select the Masque tab, and enable Buffs and Debuffs. Close ElvUI and reload your UI. Now open the Masque settings. Hit Escape, Options, Add-on tabs, Expand Masque. Now go to Profiles. There's no importable profiles, so create a new one. Under the Global section, select the skin Darkscail. This will apply the look to most skinnable elements across your add-ons. If you're using the Simple Assisted Combat Icon add-on, go to that specific group in the Masque menu and change its skin to Squat. Next up is Bindpad. To open Bindpad, type BP in chat. This add-on might look a little confusing at first, but it's perfect for reducing the amount of action bars you need on your screen. It has become one of the most useful add-ons I have used over the last 5+ years. It makes keybinding extremely simple by just drag and dropping spells or macros into the pad. The General tab is for abilities like macros you use on every character, such as mounts or consumables. This tab carries over to all your characters when the add-on is enabled. The character-specific tab is where you set up keybinds for each spec on your current character. On the right side of the Bindpad window, you'll see 4 tabs. The first time you switch specs after installing the add-on, these tabs will populate. You'll need to drag your class abilities and macros into the correct spec tab and keybind them. For example, if you use a specific interrupt macro, like the one from my previous video, you can drag that macro into the character-specific tab and set the keybind. Once you've set up all your specs, Bindpad will remember your keybinds perfectly when you switch between the specs. Next is Midnight Battletech. To open the settings, hit Escape, go to Options, click the Add-ons tab, then select Midnight Battletech and go to the profiles. There are no importable profiles for this add-on, so create a new profile. I only use the incoming and static frames with this add-on to keep the center of my screen clean. Here's how I have it set up. Go to the scroll frames and disable both outbound frames and the notification frame. Now adjust the frames you'll actually use. Click on Inbound and check Hide Icons. Click on Static and make sure Reverse Direction is enabled. Under Event Types, I disable several alerts to reduce spamming from currency and items while looting. You can enable or disable these based on your preference. Now let's position the frames using BlizzHud. Click the Edit Position button at the top of the static window. While in edit mode, disable the green eyeball icon in the top right to hide the Blizzard default frames so you don't accidentally move them. Select the inbound frame, set the horizontal curve to 0. This makes the damage and healing text fall in a straight vertical line. Then position it nicely above or around your player's unit frame. Select the static frame and set the height to around 230. If you're unable to save the position, this is normal since we didn't touch any Blizzard frames. Once everything looks good, you can reload your UI. If you're experiencing flickering with Blizzard's damage meter after installing Midnight Battletech, here's the fix. Left-click the Midnight Battletech icon on your minimap and toggle the damage meter option on. This should resolve the flickering issue. Next is XIV Databar Continued. This add-on adds a clean Minimalist info bar at the bottom or top of your screen. It shows useful information at a glance like gold, durability, FPS and latency, time, spec and talent information, and more. It's very lightweight, highly customizable, and looks great with minimal UIs. I use it because it replaces a lot of the ElvUI's data bar that I feel is dated. You can open the add-on by right-clicking the minimap icon or by typing /XBC in chat. Go to Profile Sharings and click Import Profile. Head to the XIV Databar Continue profile link on GitHub. Click the Raw button, then highlight the script by pressing Ctrl-A. Then press Ctrl-C to copy the entire script. Paste the string into the import box and click Accept. Next up is EnhancedQoL. This is a fantastic quality of life add-on that adds tons of small but extremely useful improvements to the UI and automations. It includes things like frame scaling and moving, better private aura handling, and many other handy features. You can open the add-on by right-clicking the minimap icon or typing in /EQOL in chat. Go to Profiles, Add-on, head to the EnhancedQoL profile link on GitHub, click the Raw button, press Ctrl+A to select all, then Ctrl+C to copy. Paste this into the import box and click OK. If you play a pet class, you might occasionally see Blizzard's default pet frames overlapping your ElvUI pet frame, especially after editing the BlizzHud. To prevent this, go into EnhancedQoL options, click Interface, scroll down to Visibility and Fading Frames. Under Visibility Rules, find Pet Frames and set it to Always Hidden. This keeps things clean and stops the double pet frames from appearing. Now, go back into EnhancedQoL, click Interface. Scroll all the way down to the bottom and expand the Mover section. Check the box for Enable Scaling for all frames. This lets you hold Control and scroll with your mouse wheel to quickly resize interface panels. It's super handy. Next, you want to expand Standalone Private Aura and make sure that option is enabled. Finally, let's make sure the Private Aura icon is in the right spot. Go to Edit Mode and check that the Private Aura is positioned next to the player unit frame. If it's already there, you're good to go. Plumber is another quality of life add-on that adds a bunch of useful improvements to many parts of the game. It enhances looting windows, talking heads, inventory management, title management, and adds several other handy little features. Open Plumber by right-clicking the minimap icon or typing Plumber in chat. There's no importable profiles for this one, but here are the key options I like to enable. Under the top section, enable Loot Window and Talking Head. Click the cogwheel next to each to adjust their position if needed. Enable Title Manager. This is great for quickly searching and switching titles. Under Inventory, I turn on Reagents and Vendors Locations to help quickly identify what reagents I can combine and which vendors to turn in certain currency. Under Unit Frames, enable Nameplate Soft Targets. This is really nice for seeing interactable items without having to target them. I also turn on Show Castbar and Show Quest Objective in the settings. These are just the ones I personally keep enabled. Feel free to turn on or off anything that doesn't fit your playstyle. It won't break anything. Next is Dialog UI. Dialog UI is a clean and modern replacement for Blizzard's default quest and NPC dialog windows. It makes conversations with NPCs much nicer to look at, with better layouts, dark mode support, improved camera options, and several quality of life features while interacting with quest and vendors. You can open the add-on by right-clicking the minimap icon. The default settings are already very good, but I find some of the camera options to be a bit annoying, especially when recording. I recommend testing what feels best for you. Overall, this is a fantastic add-on, and you really can't go wrong with it. To adjust the settings, find an NPC with a quest available, open the quest, then press F1 on your keyboard to open the Dialog UI menu. Under the UI, I like using dark mode. Under the Quest section, enable the options you prefer. Under the Camera tab, I personally turn camera movements off. In the Control tab, take a moment to learn the keybinds. They make accepting and turning in quests much faster. Under the Gameplay tab, I enable quest item display, valuable reward pop-ups, and auto-complete quests. This is especially useful for holiday events. Last up is Waypoint UI. This add-on is perfect with its default settings, so you don't need to change much. If you haven't heard of it before, Waypoint UI adds a clean, modern beam waypoint that points towards your objectives and really elevates the overall look of your UI. It also works great alongside TomTom if you prefer using that for manual waypoints. And that is my complete UI setup from start to finish. If you run into any issues while setting this up, drop a comment down below, and I'll do my best to help you out. Also, let me know what you think of the UI. If you found this video helpful, please drop a like and subscribe so you don't miss future UI updates or guides. I'm always tweaking things, so there will probably be more videos like this in the future. Happy hunting.